Hello, you are watching Western Reserve News. I'm your host, Bruce Rogers, and we invite you to sit back and watch the highlights of meetings that we are doing this week. So far this week, Western Reserve News has been at the Columbiana Board of Education meeting and the Poland Village Council meeting on Tuesday. On Thursday, Western Reserve News was at the Mahoning County Commissioners meeting. Western Reserve News was at Fairfield Township on Thursday, September 3rd, and so was Representative Tim Ginter, who, among other things, talked about the marijuana initiative.
On issue 3, the legalization of marijuana, I thought you as government officers ought to know what we know about that issue and if I can be of any help or assistance to you. But just very quickly, issue 3 is a ballot initiative. It is not something that's just going to change the law. It's going to change the Constitution in the state of Ohio if it passes. A lot of folks don't understand that. This is a constitutional change. It is being funded by a small group of investors who have, some are in Ohio, some are outside of Ohio. They've come into Ohio to use it as a test state. Their statement is this: as Ohio goes, so goes the nation. So if Ohio will pass this, we know it will pass anywhere else. They're seeking to legalize marijuana, but the commercial growing of marijuana can only take place in 10 specific plots of land in the state of Ohio, and guess who owns those 10 specific plots of land? Those investors. No one else in this initiative will be able to commercially grow marijuana. So essentially they're establishing a type of monopoly or a cartel. The other thing that's interesting that I think people should know is they're also, in the framework of this initiative, they have established their own special tax rate. This tax rate will be put into the Constitution. We will have no power to change that tax rate. Like we can alter the cigarette tax, we can alter alcohol tax. We could never change, the government could never change the tax rate for these individuals so they can grow marijuana in the state of Ohio in these 10 areas. Now, they're going to use that, the hitch, that they're hitching on to the wagon of appealing to people being able to use it for recreational use. And so each individual will be able to grow 2 plants. How law enforcement will be able to monitor that, I don't know. But it will be legal to grow 2 plants in your own backyard. You also can possess, in your possession or your home, 9 ounces of marijuana.
Representative Ginter talked to trustees about LGF funds that should be available soon and what it means to the townships.
But I want to tell you this just very quickly. There are other legislators who are helping to really fight for the LGF being raised. We recognize that it was cut by almost, 50% when we were $8 billion in the hole. Now that we have a rainy day fund, they're working very hard and swimming upstream to get more money back to the local government.
Tim, with the townships here, we contract with the City of Columbiana Fire, Waterford, and also Latonia. So we essentially don't have a safety force, but we contract with those 3. Can we apply for a grant under the...
I think the answer is yes.
So we could go to those 3 entities and say, okay, what are the needs? And then we could kind of look at, maybe they all need turnout gear, maybe they all need...
Even though they're not in our township?
I believe that you're working collaboratively with them, and there's a big push, as you, Barry, already alluded to. I believe that the governor is pushing very hard for collaborative efforts. So I can double check on that, but
because one of those would be the only in the township.
Who do you You're working with the city and with who else?
We contract with New Waterford, the City of Columbiana, and then also Latonia. 3 different fire departments.
Columbiana would be the only ones in our township.
And the City of Columbiana is in our township, which will for the trustees and also...
It sounds right to me, but we will check. And Representative Schuring wrote the amendment. I helped, but he's the expert. And he tried to get this in the last budget and wasn't successful.
And if you don't have broadband internet available to you, Representative Tim Ginter tells what's coming.
I don't know if you have heard of CAF or CAF2. You may have already heard of the Connect America Fund. And this is a fund that has been offered to carriers, providing that they were willing to match it with investment from their companies. And the purpose is to provide broadband to 167,000 rural locations around Ohio. And the hot news is this, that all of the large companies have accepted the CAF2 dollars and are going to begin a 6-year rollout of this plan. CenturyLink, Frontier, Windstream, Cincinnati Bell, Fairpoint, AT&T. And so there are benchmarks that they have to meet every one of those 6 years until they have met the 100%. In other words, the funding, I'm sure, is distributed according to them reaching certain benchmarks. I met with parents who were frustrated because, you know, their kids now use computers, and they're having to use computers and be online to even do their homework. And one mother was actually broke down in tears because her daughter, they had to buy her smartphone, said, we don't have that kind of money, but we had to buy something so she could get her homework and do her homework. And she walks around in the front yard trying to get reception to do her homework. So this will be a big deal to some of the folks in our county.
And Fairfield Township made their Roadman Mel accountable for counting up all the signs and 500 signposts in an order placed with ODOT.
So I guess we need a resolution appointing Mel as the LPA point person and giving him the authority to sign as needed on this document.
And just on that dock or any dock, or if something else comes?
Well, we want to look at the other one for on this
Okay.
document.
So this upgrade project
This
grant
agreement.
agreement, okay.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Hunt?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes.
Mr. Garwood?
Yes.
Fairfield Township approved the lowest bid received at the last meeting for a truck bed submitted by Dexter. On Thursday, the Mahoning County Commissioners held their meeting at the Ohio State University Extension Service across from the Campfield Fairgrounds, and they handed out Buckeyes.
Yes, thank you. Well, so in honor of our Buckeyes, right, that are the first unanimous #1 preseason ever. So if you put a Buckeye in your pocket, it's good luck.
Good, I like that.
So these are Mahoning County Buckeyes.
Wow. I have a tree in my backyard.
I'm trying to grow.
For real. So you could plant it, but I thought that put that in your pocket. It'll be luck for you guys and luck for us for the season. No. Have a few extras, so all the lucky folks in the front.
Wow.
That is really cool. Thank you.
They're all shined up, too.
They're all shined up. I've been rubbing them good.
Wow.
At the Columbiana Board of Education meeting, Superintendent Don Mook told the school board about national honors received by the speech class.
It's not on my agenda, but I wanted to recognize our speech and debate team. We have a plaque that I wanted you to take a quick glance at. We were recognized nationally as a school of honor. Columbiana High School speech team placed in the top 40 of over 1,000 schools, making our team the only Ohio school who placed in speech events. And some of those that went to the tournament and competed: Bruce Wiggins competed in international exempt, Alan Mareshi placed in the top 60 of regional, Brianna Davis and Haley Martin placed in the top 60 in duo, and Zach Fringer and Brad Keeler placed in the top 30 in duo. Just hats off to Miss Tricia Nord, who has been our speech coach since I've been here, and the program is incredibly run, and she does an incredible job.
And then Superintendent Mook told the school board about up-and-up enrollment figures for Columbiana exempted.
I wanted to touch base with you and give you just an indicator on where we are enrollment-wise. This year, K to 12, we're up to 1,047 students. And if we go pre-K through 23, we're at 1,060 students. When I first started here 6 years ago, we were about 1,024 students. So our enrollment is up. It's as high as it's been since in the last 6 years. And this is the 7th year for me here in the district. We are on the positive end in open enrollment. As you well know, open enrollment dollars out need to be covered by open enrollment in. We lose out of the district about 160 kids, but this year we have 190 kids in open enrollment in. A net plus of $172,350, and that doesn't take into account any disadvantaged student dollars and or special education costs that are associated that may increase that as well. So just based on open enrollment dollars, 5745 that go in and out, that's kind of a rough idea as to where we stand. So we're on the plus end of that. I'm pretty happy with our numbers at this point. I think that the things that we're doing in this school, some of the special programs that we have, some of the things that we do within our buildings are going to continue to attract students to Columbiana schools. So enrollment is a very positive thing for us at this point.
At the Poland Village Council meeting on Tuesday, historic markers are in Poland's future.
Now, regarding the marker for Village Hall, the Village of Poland, I can read a portion of the letter there. It says, "Your efforts to submit an application is greatly appreciated, and your topic is worthy of an Ohio historical marker. If you would like to proceed with your application and pay for the marker with your local community support, please contact us by September 30th. It went on in another part to say, "The marker fact-checking and editing process can take approximately 6 months from the date of this letter because of the volume of applications approved. For the marker regarding the Little Red Schoolhouse, Poland Township, congratulations. We're happy to report that the Marker Grant Committee of the Ohio History Connections Local History Office selected your application as one of 10 to receive a grant of $750 in this round of applications. We received a total of 23 applications for grants, so competition was robust." So we did get to $750 for that marker. Regarding that marker, also, Larry Baughman, our president, and I attended a meeting of the Poland Township trustees and gave them information about our interest in applying for the marker, requested assistance for that, as well as a big issue we have at the Little Red Schoolhouse with the windows. That 1858-year-old building has the original windows, we figure, and they are deteriorating pretty badly. We had the building painted a few years ago, 2 years ago, and the painter had to use a lot of caulking around the windows just to kind of hold them together. Well, this year a lot of that caulking is coming loose with heat or whatever. So we are interested in replacing those windows. So we spoke at the Township Trustees meeting requesting assistance for paying for the marker that would go at the Little Red Schoolhouse and Poland Township, as well as the windows. The result was that we were given $3,000 to use as we saw fit for either or both causes. So we were very happy to receive that. Now, I don't know if you're aware, the township does receive some funds from Republic Services, the landfill, which they, I guess, are expected to use some of that for community purposes, and I think that's why we were able to sell them on that.
Will the title Deputy Clerk work?
Assumption that we would call, in my mind it came up as Deputy Clerk of Court. If we just call her Deputy Clerk, then I think, there's no fraud, there's no misinterpretation. She's a Deputy Clerk of the Violations Bureau, but I don't think we need to be that specific. But she is the one who is signing off for the village on these suspensions, that she's a representative of the Village of Poland. And that's all I think we're really doing, is saying that she's our representative for the BMV on these matters. And I think in that regard, I think it'd be okay.
That makes sense, just deputy clerk.
I'm gonna send this message as well, but I think that would be fine. But what I would do is I will call the director tomorrow and ask her opinion as well. But we could do it one of two ways. I don't know if there's anything pressing, but you could either name her deputy clerk tonight and then know that she has a notary and we're covered, or she'll have a notary, I imagine, in a week or so, and at the next meeting talk about whether or not we name her deputy clerk.
She's deputy clerk of what?
Well, like I said, the deputy clerk designation, in my mind, is the link that the BMV needs to do what they need to do about OVI suspensions and arrests. So all she's doing by that title is saying that council is certifying her as the person who's the contact or the conduit with the BMV. So not just anyone can sign a form. This is the person that village council designated as the person who is verifying these, signing off on them, and then sending them down.
After questioning by the Board of Elections, Poland Village clarified the ballot language.
So I wrote this resolution, which I believe clarified the resolution that we also sent down, which stated the time that we wanted the levy to be collected and when we wanted the levy to be implemented. Sent it down to the prosecutors. They made a couple changes, which Nick put on the resolution here, and now there will be no problems with the Elections Board as to the language they put on the ballot and as to when Poland can collect the tax and when Poland can spend the tax money. Collecting next year, spending it in 2017. The other way would have been collecting it this year, because they're still collecting 2014, but collecting this year's money and starting to spend it next year, which was not what we intended to do. So this clarifies what was clarified by the other resolution, which clarified what was not clear by the last resolution. Long and short of it is, we're good to go now.